And welcome into the Friday edition. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Friday morning, presented by Green Ventures Landscaping, outdoor patios, landscaping design, lawn maintenance, and more. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership with a buzz. It is always about great service. Joe Rexrode, happy Friday morning to you. How we doing? What's going on?
Doing all right. Quickly, shout out to my buddy Luso Nolensville, who's going to Philly for your PGA Championship. Be jealous of him. Also, though, he's got to be kidding, right? That he liked the Luke Bryan version of the national anthem. Was he saying he did?
Well, he would be the first one in history. the first time we would have gotten that particular text would be what I would say.
Let me know if you're serious. Text. I mean, I like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, I mean, Gomer Pyle from the Andy Griffith Show sounds fine. But
I actually missed the Muppets, kind of.
Yeah,
Gomer Pyle. There you go.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm a little sore today, and I can tell that it's just starting. Like the soreness is probably going to get. It's probably like tomorrow will be the worst because I had to do a little reprisal of the years-long basketball one-on-one, challenge that I've had with a certain child, and I tell you, I really hope for his sake that he can beat me by the time I get to 60 because, 18-year-old great athlete coming out of freshman year of college, you'd think you'd be able to handle a 53-year-old man, but I guess not. How
about that?
No, he beat me once, but I beat him the other time. I'll take the tie. Tie is a win.
There we go.
Tie's a win to me.
That's impressive. Look at you.
I mean, he's
still a baller out there.
He's actually kind of lucky he won the other one.
Wow.
So, I'll pay for it.
That's worth it, though.
Go in there, and I mean, you got to slam in there in the post, man.
I think it's worth it, though.
It is worth it.
Yeah, you can deal with a few days.
Especially when you can talk trash about it in public, like
exactly. I think it's well worth it. This is great. What a great development for Rexrode on the athletic front here. Ian, how we doing? What's going on?
Good morning. No hoops for me yesterday, but it was a good night. It was a little bit more on the relaxed sports night, I would say. Kind of kept up with a little bit of the early hockey game.
Oh, yeah.
Turned on a few minutes of the late game. Saw the Marner goal. But
that was sick.
That was nice. Little C-Mace, Chris Mason, our boy on the broadcast, doing a great job, as always. And, doing good. Happy Friday. Should be a beautiful weekend. Looks like the heat's starting to turn up a little bit. I'm starting to a little bit worry about the drought. A little bit of a drought situation around town.
Use a little rain.
Could use some rain.
Some extended rain, maybe.
Yeah, but overall, doing good. Should be a fun weekend. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. PGA Championship update already underway this morning. Scotty Scheffler tied for the lead. We'll see how it goes today.
A lot of 3-unders there, huh?
A lot of people tied for the lead, but Scheffler's one of them.
So why am I not as I look at the screen? Why is it not telling me what hole he's on?
Well, he's not playing yet. He didn't tee off till 7:40.
Yeah, you didn't see the text message, Joe. We already got an update on that last night.
I think Rexrode was already asleep.
That's my bad. Yeah, no, I get it now. They played yesterday.
They did. Rexrode
hi, welcome.
Didn't quite get to watching yesterday, but I think this weekend is when Rexrode starts to turn it around on the PGA Championship front.
I legitimately will watch the end of it if it's close.
Did you see the dude who showed up late to his tee time and got a two-stroke penalty?
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know how that happens in a PGA Championship.
I read that he was on the practice green.
Yeah.
So he was close by. He was just walked up a minute late.
Garrick Higo. Yeah, he was late to his tee time. Got a two-stroke penalty. And by the way, got a two-stroke penalty, shot one under. Guess who would also be tied for the lead if not for the two-stroke penalty? Garrick Higo up there. So,
holy cow, man.
That's tough one.
That could cost him a lot of money.
It could. Yes, it could.
My goodness.
That is a tough. And his explanation was absolutely hilarious. He's like, yeah, I mean, I think my tee time was 7:18. So I was there at 7:18 and 30 seconds. So if you're 1 second late, you're late, but I wasn't late, if that makes any sense. I was like, oh,
so in
good.
other words, he thinks he had all the way until 7:18:59.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of might have a point, right?
I'm interested.
If it didn't flip to 19.
I know. I think it's a matter of interpretation. Is it not?
Yeah, that's you would think that you'd get the whole minute that it is that minute.
I don't know. I've never seen this happen before, so I couldn't tell you.
He needs to appeal to what's his name, who let Happy stay on the tour.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. The schedule is out for the Tennessee Titans. We'll have Turron Davenport with us at 8 o'clock for his full reaction to the Titans schedule and other things, Titans as well. I took a look at it last night. First off, let me say this. I thought the Titans social media team did another very good job with the video that they put out there. I don't know that they'll ever top like their first one when it came to like the Broadway thing where you're talking about like, you know, that video that basically took the NFL by storm as Rexrode's computer volume goes off. I thought the last night's video was pretty good where they're just like walking up and it's like, oh, hey, Pat McAfee. And some dude that looked kind of, sort of, not really, looks like Pat McAfee walking down, and that's the Colts thing. It was cool. It's good stuff.
No, it was because it's like, yeah, the man on the street the second time around was like, okay, yeah, you might have, you know, I don't know about jump the shark, but you might be like revving up the motorcycle, looking at the ramp. But this was, I give him credit, man. I mean, it's a freaking gold mine down there, right? Of people watching. I mean, it's got to be one of the greatest people watching places in the country, Broadway. And so that was good. That was smart. And there was some really funny ones in there. So,
there were.
Yes.
I mean, I think surely most people, you know, Titans get a lot of grief. Surely most people can agree that that social media stuff is pretty good. That's pretty good stuff.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Do we have a particular favorite around the NFL that you saw?
I have. So I'm going through them. I mean, the Colts one that's pretty impressive, man. Obviously, you know, they must have. I mean, there's stuff that's unique in the opening. It's Simpsons for anybody who didn't see it, and so and they go through their schedule and there's scenes that are actual scenes from the history of the show that apply to the schedule, which is great. That's creative, but like the open is, you know, like it's specific to the Colts, and so I mean they must have put a lot into that because it appears they got Matt Groening who you know to actually create this intro for, you know, it's the Simpsons show intro, but it is Colts specific, and it had to have been uniquely created for this. I'd like to know more about that.
I enjoyed the Fernando Mendoza, Kirk Cousins stepbrother stuff. That was pretty good.
I'm still getting to it. I saw that, so I'm still getting to it. That's a great idea.
It is
for sure.
It's good. Those two together, I think I'm going to enjoy for a while.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, however long they are together, there's going to be.
It'll be good.
Fun will be had.
It'll be good. I mean, I'm reading a headline from ESPN that says 2026 NFL schedule release: Chargers, Titans among top reveals. So how about that? Titans get some love from ESPN.com.
So let's see. Have I seen the Chargers one?
I thought the Rams was pretty good.
The Rams was cool. Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, they had some funny references in that. You know, substation for the 49ers and a couple other funny ones in there.
Yeah, that was cool for sure.
Chargers did the one that was basically like tied into the Halo video game. It's good.
Okay, and they're the one that had the little subtle Vrabel Gate stuff. Yeah. You knew someone. They would probably be the ones that would do that. I think the Chargers are always they're taking shots, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that's like their thing. They find that they're not afraid to go low.
Yeah, exactly. The schedule for the Tennessee Titans, I will read it very quickly. We'll go through it. Home against New York and Philadelphia to begin the season. Those are your first two games. At the Giants for game 3. At Baltimore, your first 4 games there. Home against Houston, on the road against Indy, home against Cleveland, on the road against Cincinnati. A week 9 bye week. One of the things I always look at, Joe, is where's the bye week in the schedule? Pretty good bye week location for the Tennessee Titans in week 9. Home against Jacksonville in week 10. At Dallas, at Jacksonville again. So Jacksonville twice in a 3-week span, which I know we don't like here on this program. Home against Washington, at Detroit, against Indy, on the road against Vegas in the first game after Christmas. Potentially, Joe, the final home game in regular Nissan Stadium right now is Pittsburgh on January the 3rd, and then they will close out the season in Houston. So those are the 2026 schedule / 2027 for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, that's an important point. And I know PK has been making a big deal out of this, but it's an interesting, you know, I know he put out the poll, who do you want the last game to be? Of course, he put out the all the division teams.
Sure.
And if it was the finale of the season, that would have been the case, but it's not. They're on the road to end, so it's the Steelers. And there are definitely some big Steelers moments
Sure.
in the history of the Titans. I don't know that it's like
AFC Central.
Absolutely. So I don't know if it's like the ideal last opponent. And again, I'm not gonna disqualify them from having a home playoff game, but probably not. They're
The odds are
probably
not
not going to have a home playoff game. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, and not a great Pittsburgh Steelers team either. So the chance to go out with a win over the Steelers in the last Nissan game.
Aaron Rodgers, I guess,
Maybe.
gonna close down Nissan Stadium here.
Yeah. Will he be playing?
We'll
will
see.
He still, will he be upright by then?
Will there be a contract?
A lot of questions.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. The schedule is out for the Tennessee Titans, and I think for a lot of Titans fans, there was one glaring part of it that stands out once again. We'll get into that coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. The 2026 schedule is out for the Tennessee Titans. And, Joe, one of the immediate reactions from Titans fans was this. Once again, no primetime games for the Tennessee Titans. They will be playing on Sunday every week. And most of these games are at noon. I think they have 2 games that start at 3:05. One of them being at Jacksonville, and the other one later in the year
Raiders
against the Raiders. So there you go. 2 games that are after noon. So, hey, one thing you will have if you're the Tennessee Titans player and a fan, there will be a routine established. You're playing at noon. Just get used to it. You're going to be playing at noon, and you'll get in a rhythm, and maybe you can adjust your body clock that way pretty quickly into the year.
Set your clock to it. We talk about the NFL Sunday ticket losing value. Well, it's going to feature the Tennessee Titans, by golly.
Yeah, it will.
All around the world. If you're an NFL Sunday ticket subscriber, you got Tennessee Titans football. Yeah, there's probably actually quite a few people in that organization who aren't sad about that.
Probably not.
Even like veteran players are probably like, good, great. Toe meets leather at noon. That's what football is supposed to be. Obviously, there are definitely some players who like there's a certain extra amount of juice that you get from being in a prime time big game or something.
Sure.
And obviously there's none of that. And of course the fans just, to have 1 or 2, would be nice. There are 4 other teams, 5 teams total. Is that right? Who are getting,
I believe that is correct.
Yeah.
Getting shut out.
And it's some usual suspects.
Yeah.
Either bad or, bad on the field.
Yeah.
Some combination of bad on the field / not one of the bigger fan bases in the league.
I saw this tweet from Mike Herndon. One of my buddies sent this to me. So I'm going to trust Herndon here. He says, unless I'm missing one, I believe the Titans are the only team in the last 20 years at least to go 2 consecutive seasons playing every single game on a Sunday afternoon.
That's a hell of a
2
stat.
years in a row.
If he's done that research, first of all, that's no small thing to do that research.
No, I don't really know. That'd take a long time, or you have some service do it for you. I don't know.
Or maybe there's some way to get AI to do that for you.
Yeah.
I don't know, but if that's true, that's a hell of a stat, and obviously that's disappointing for the Titans and their fans. And especially
this is a low T alert.
Well, especially because those 2 years included the number 1 pick quarterback on the team, and there are bad teams with no redeeming qualities in terms of just general fan interest. Usually a number 1 overall pick quarterback has some general fan interest.
Correct. Well, I'm not surprised by this. I mean, like we talked about it yesterday, said maybe the Titans get 1.
Yeah, I thought they'd get 1.
Maybe they get 1. I think my official prediction yesterday was 0. So this is not surprising, I don't think, to anybody, but I do think it kind of shows you, we were in a text with Charles Robinson about this last night. It's like, wow, it is kind of hard to believe when you look at it that way. It's like they do have, number 1 overall pick last year. They picked in the top 5 this year, and it's 2 years in a row where it's just like, no. Let me tell you something. The Tennessee Titans are going to be playing on Sunday at noon. That's what they're going to be doing. It's just what it is here. And I know, last year they had a few afternoon starts because they're out west as much as they were. But, man, it is kind of jarring to look at the schedule, and it's just like Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. I mean, I guess we do have to leave room, Joe. You can make it to Week 18 against Houston. And maybe you get flexed into a Sunday night game.
Well, there are actually other. I mean, Kaharski laid this out. I didn't realize it was this extensive in terms of the flexibility that they have.
Yeah.
And I think it's got to be the most they've ever had this year. So in theory,
you can play your way into
if they're one of the stories of the league, which is what they would have to be. They'd have to be one of the stories of the league to even be mentioned in this stuff. But let's see. So according to Kaharski here, you got Sunday Night Football. You can use it twice between weeks 5 to 10, and then they can change weeks 11 through 17. I mean, that's not what it used to be.
No.
It used to be the very end. Monday Night Football, he says the NFL has the discretion from weeks 12 to 17 and Thursday Night Football twice between weeks 13 and 17. That's a lot of possible changes.
Yeah.
And I probably are only going to make changes if you've got just like an absolute turd in the punch bowl game.
Yeah.
Right. And for the most part, it's like you don't want to mess
Somebody
with
gets hurt. Yeah.
You don't want to mess with people's schedules. So that's why we don't see it. But I didn't realize they had this latitude here. I didn't realize that they could do that much of it. So in theory, some other game could be moved. You usually think about it at the end. Obviously, the last game against the Texans. What if that's just an absolute banger?
It could be
monster winning in game. That could be. But so the primetime games, you got it up to 7 for the Rams. Your beloved Packers, Chiefs, Bills, Seahawks get 6. Then you go down, 5, 4. You get down to so in the AFC South, you've got Houston does get 4 of them to lead the way. Jacksonville gets 3 of them. The Colts get 2. There are 2 teams that have 1 each: the Saints and the Browns. And if you're
let's get Cleveland on.
I know if you're a Titans fan, you're like, really? Yeah. And why do they get 1?
Yeah.
And the zeros are the Titans, Cardinals, Dolphins, Raiders. By the way,
I am surprised by that.
If you're going to do the, number 1 pick, by the way, Raiders get none and the Jets get none. That's one thing Charles was texting with us is like, because, again, it's like Cardinals, no surprise.
Dolphins,
no surprise. Titans, no surprise. Vegas, a little bit of a surprise because Mendoza, really? That you're not giving them 1 later in the year where it's like by then.
And the Raiders are
and the Raiders have
brand.
A massive brand. And also the Jets, and that's what Charles' point was. Like, I mean, the Jets, like, people care.
It's New York, yeah,
like they have a big fan base. So sucking also is part of this. If you have the combination of sucking and not a great fan base,
you have no chance. Not good on that.
Like the Titans and Cardinals were probably your easiest picks to be zeros. I mean, that's the thing about the Browns. And that's it. The Browns, they deserve it. On the field, it's as much a disaster as it. But
these people stick with them.
Yes, they do.
They stick with them. K-Dot saying, hey, don't worry. They're going to have some primetime games in the playoffs. Plenty of primetime games.
There you go.
For playoff time.
That's what
you got to bide your time
about.
a little bit if you're a Titans fan out there. Yeah, I mean, again, not surprised that they don't have it. I thought maybe the Baltimore game. And the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, Baltimore, I know they didn't make the playoffs last year, but I think a lot of people expect them to rebound, be a good team. You got Lamar Jackson, and it would be the Derrick Henry storyline. Now, it's, again, to running back. It's not the same thing as, a quarterback playing against their old team. But I thought maybe that would be the one. And nope, that one's at noon in Baltimore on October the 4th. So,
yeah, we talked about the Cowboys, maybe.
Yeah.
Talked about the Eagles, maybe. People keep talking about the Eagles game, like, oh, A.J. Brown's return. He's not going to be on the Eagles, is he? Isn't it already done that he's traded to the Patriots?
It seems to be.
Yeah. I've seen so much of that. Oh, the AJ, and even on our station, I heard it yesterday. The A.J. Brown. I'm like,
I don't think he's going to be there.
I don't think that's going to happen. Now, that means Titans do play the Patriots, too.
They do not.
Oh.
Not this year.
Okay. All right, never mind. Someday they will reunite again with A.J. Brown. I mean, he already gave them a little spanking
he did.
And stuff, That's already happened.
And then the general manager was fired a couple days later. I'm sure it had nothing to do with that. 615-737-1025, our phone number, 615-737-1025. Joe, there was a takeaway I had from this schedule as it relates to the very first game and the urgency level for the Tennessee Titans that I want to run by you coming up next. We'll do that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Join the Chase and Big Joe show today from noon to 3 for the grand opening of Goodwood, Nashville, and their brand new location on 219 Lafayette Street. Chase and Big Joe will be giving away tickets to see the Nashville Smash take on the Boston Butchers at Municipal Auditorium coming up on May 23rd. Goodwood, Nashville, the place to go for hardwood lumber with white oak, walnut, maple, poplar, and many more. They have it all, 15,000 square foot warehouse that you need to see as well. Visit them online at goodwoodnashville.com. Joe, I got to take from the first game here when it comes to the Titans and the Jets, which we talked about that matchup yesterday. I was interested to see what the first part of the schedule would look like for the New York Jets, because I think we all would recognize that did not go well for Aaron Glenn last year. And that is a place and that is a market where when it's not going well, it can get loud, and it can get loud very quickly. Let me read the first 4 games for the New York Jets here, which I think will, if you're a Tennessee Titans fan, you're looking at this and you're saying, well, the Jets probably need to beat the Titans, because this is the first 4 games for the New York Jets. At the Titans, home against the Green Bay Packers, on the road against the Detroit Lions, on the road against the Chicago Bears. Those are your first 4 games if you're the New York Jets.
Here's a face full of NFC North for you.
Yeah, so you're starting off with the Titans, the Packers, the Lions, and the Bears. They are for sure going to be underdogs, and probably significant underdogs in 3 of those games. We'll see what the Titans game ends up looking like
right now. And right now, I think I saw what the early line is like. Titans minus 1.5.
Okay, so they're going to be underdogs in all of them. They'll be significant underdogs against the Packers, the Lions, and the Bears. So I did see that yesterday, and I was like, look, it's the NFL. It's not like Aaron Glenn and the New York Jets. So like the players in the locker room are going to be looking around saying, well, we better beat the Titans because, in 2 weeks, the Lions are going to run all over us. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I do think, like, if you're Aaron Glenn, it's probably pretty important that you get off to a decent start this next year, or it's going to get loud very quickly. And I think with the way the schedule sets up for the Jets, it's going to be difficult for him to get off to that good start. So they better beat the Titans. If they don't, he is in a world of trouble. So it just adds a little bit of intrigue to that week 1 game, I think.
Yeah, no doubt. And that is very much, it's like, the Titans look at their schedule, Titans fans look at their schedule, and it's like, okay, well, there's one that looks pretty good on the schedule. All right, that's one that we should be able to handle. But that's what Jets fans are doing too.
For sure.
Looking at the Titans and saying, well, what you said. One is like, okay, 1 and 3 is very much possible given that schedule, but get the 1.
Yeah,
and you can survive and some other games. I don't know what's next. What's the next game?
Let me pull that back up.
After the entire NFC North pummels them, probably.
They have. Let's see here. Those are the first 4 games. Week 5, they take on the Cleveland Browns. So there you go.
Okay. So if you can beat the Browns, get to 2 and 3, then all right. Like then
you get the Patriots, and we'll see what they are.
Yeah, and who knows? So you're hanging in there. But yeah, like if you're 0 and 4. Man, it's like the in-season firing thing, I think, is probably, he's probably as much a candidate as anyone. I haven't seen any like hot seat. You always forget somebody, but in terms of hot seat, and it's crazy because it's year 2 and it's the freaking Jets. But I've got to think, Zach Taylor with Cincy too, right? Has got to be like, it's either you turn this stuff around or we got real problems. I'm looking around, trying to think of anybody else who is a serious, hot seat. There's a lot of people that could get on there.
Sure.
But those are probably your top 2, right?
Probably so. It was really bad with the Jets last year. We talked about the craziest stat I've ever seen of not getting an interception in the entire season. You're a defensive guy coming in, like, it's pretty wild how bad that was. So I think he's clearly number 1. I guess there's a chance that if this whole thing falls apart with Philadelphia, they could,
Well, every year it starts to bubble to the surface, right?
Right.
Now, and that's the thing. If and when they move AJ, I think they're going to do, that kind of removes an excuse for him too. Again, he just won the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Right.
But like all the stuff, is it just because there's a lot of stuff about him and Hurts too that had nothing to do with AJ Brown, right? That has gone on. So yeah, he could be one potentially. But yeah, Glenn just seemed overmatched last year. I mean, it's just the way he handled stuff too. It's not just now. Granted, that's how Salah came off sometimes too with the Jets. But not to that, like to the degree. Like they had some good things about them. They won some games. Last year was just like, ooh, with the Jets. So that's a big one. The last two Jets coaches going at each other right away.
Well, that's the other thing. JW on the text line says, their schedule, plus they're going to be playing Salah the first game. We all know how bad it sucks to get beat up by your big burly coach. So Aaron Glenn has this circled on his calendar. Like if you factor in if the Jets lose that Titans game to their former coach, and then you looking down the barrel of the Packers, the Lions, and the Bears, it could get really ugly very fast for Aaron Glenn. Like
right.
I don't know. Could they fire him if they start 0-4? Maybe. It's early in the NFL season to fire somebody, but I mean, we just saw the Titans do it not too much longer than that last year.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where if you're already, who the hell knows with this owner? I mean, but if you're already dubious and really concerned, and then it's ugly and you're 0-4, including that loss to the Titans, and now you're looking at the Browns games like, okay, this is actually, they're so bad. This could be a get right game for him. Now let's just do it now before there's any chance of, so yeah, no, I think the Titans game could be the key to like either just quieting that and giving them a better chance of having the whole year or a lot of the year, or making a 1 month in firing possible.
One of the other things that stands out about the Titans schedule to me is there's no like really long extended time on the road. They've got a couple of different stretches where they've got 3 out of 4 on the road. But I mean, Joe, they've had some stretches before where they've had like 3 straight on the road, or they've had, I think in one instance, I remember them having like 4 straight on the road, kind of broken up by a bye week that was in there. I mean, the most they've got at any point this year in a row on the road is 2. So that happens a few different times, but there's not some big long stretch of games on the road here for the Tennessee Titans. It's a pretty balanced schedule from that standpoint.
Yeah, no, there's nothing in the schedule to me that stands out as like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like that's
other than playing Jacksonville 2 times in 3 weeks, which seems to happen with these divisional games every year for some reason. And it drives me insane.
Yeah. That just sucks for everybody, both teams and fans and everything. But yeah, as far as like the Titans having, I know like
no crazy weather games either.
No.
I usually kind of, later in the season, road games. Where are you going? You're going to Detroit in December, inside, right? You got Vegas in December on the road. No problem there. Jacksonville in November.
That Milky Pool will still be flowing in Jacksonville in November.
Dallas.
Turn the heater on a little bit, but it'd be fine.
Dallas in November. And, you got home against Washington. So you don't have to play the Jets in the cold. You don't have to play the Ravens in the cold. You don't have to play the Eagles in the cold. I guess the Eagles are home, but
there's also the early season.
Giants.
There's also the early season, like when they opened at Miami, like that's a weather game the other way. When hot and let's sit there all day.
It'll be hot here.
Hurricane.
There's no storms.
September.
Let's sit there for 5 hours in a freaking press box with nothing happening. It's great. But yeah, they go to the Giants. They go to the Ravens. In the first month of the season, and those shouldn't be anything crazy. So yeah, it's all around. It's all around pretty fair from that. And the idle week in week 9 that's good.
That's right where you want it, right?
Yeah.
9-10.
I mean, I would, I don't,
He just had to bring it up again because I said bye week 3 times earlier. He had to bring up the idle week conversation.
Well, I'm not bringing it up. You can say it however you want. I'll say it correctly. But yeah, I would even want it a little later, honestly. It's like, I mean, if you're a good team, to me, it's like week 11, something like that.
As long as it's not like week 5, because every time that somebody lands the week 5 bye week, I'm like, wow, that sucks, because you're just going to have to roll right through it from then on out.
I think I heard Kansas City got one.
The Lions got one of those too, and also Munich with no off time during there. So Lions fans are crying a lot right now, but that's typical.
615
of that sad sack group.
737-1025 615-737-1025. More of your thoughts on the Titans schedule and the Titans as a whole coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Today, Vanderbilt baseball takes on South Carolina at Hawkins Field. First pitch at 6 o'clock. You can catch all the action on 102.5 The Game. Coverage presented by Gary Force Acura. Taking your thoughts on the Titans at 615-737-1025. Joe Rexrode's ready to go game by game with the Tennessee Titans coming up here at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, all of us. We're going to be – and you're going to be held to your answers.
That's fine.
So, as will I.
That's fine.
As will Ian. We'll see who's – do we remember who had the best? Who was best last year?
I mean, I remember before the season when we actually did our season predictions and did this. I picked them to go 3-14, and they did. So
what did we do?
No, I was actually 4-13. Sorry. I think you were 5. I think Ian may have been 5 too.
Such a homer. We're homers.
Sounds about right.
But
yeah. Think about that.
I will
really optimistic on the Titans picking them to win 5 games.
I know. I will say that I went through it last night quickly and I was like, take it easy, man. I'm 9-8. Whoa, you need to calm your ass down. That will not happen today. I will
13-4.
Contain myself. Yeah, exactly.
Rexrode's really optimistic this year.
So I got to ask you a question.
Okay.
I'm sorry to keep bringing these up, but I saw this take and I have to. Do you think that this is the NFL telling the Titans that this is what they think of Cam Ward?
Well, because they have no primetime games?
Yeah.
I mean, is it as simple as just that? No. I mean, I do think it's interesting that the number 1 overall pick, both in his rookie year and his second year, doesn't have any primetime games. I would venture to guess that doesn't happen very often. Usually when you got a number 1 overall pick at quarterback, you're going to find them in some primetime games. I think it has more to do with the fact that the Titans have been awful and it's the Tennessee Titans and they don't have a huge fan base. That's where I would start. I would start with Titans aren't very good. Second to that, they don't have a very large fan base. It's not a national draw to have the Titans on. And, I mean, if you want to tie it into Cam Ward a little bit, I could probably buy some of that. But I think those first 2 are where I would start on that.
Yeah. The way I would say it is he's not enough to overcome the other limitations. Correct. If you want to make this about him, you might be going a little overboard. You might be kind of missing the point there. But yeah, you would hope that a number 1 pick like that would give you a little bit of a bump and get you a game.
Yeah.
And it's not enough to do so. Now, it is enough for him to be on the Netflix QB special.
It is.
So some people like him and value him. But, yeah, the idea that, this is first and foremost a commentary on him is a stretch, to say the least.
Is that a Stilly take?
Yes.
Okay.
I was trying not to,
it seemed like you were pulling that from somewhere, so I didn't know where. That was my first place that I went with.
I mean, I'll read the tweet. Titans Twitter's not going to like us because they have anointed Cam Ward their savior, but no primetime games. A clear indication the league thinks Cam isn't worth putting on national TV.
Okay.
I didn't do Cartman. I only do Cartman for him when it's, Dr. Love. It's just a little bit much. I mean,
yeah, it's
a little much.
I think it's part of it. I think if they thought
you would hope
Cam Ward was some budding superstar player, then they probably get some on 1. You could probably overcome it with 1. But I still think when you start the conversation of why the Titans aren't on national TV, it's because number 1, they've been terrible, and number 2, it's not a huge national draw. I mean, you know this, Joe. Think about when the Titans are good. They play on national TV. They've been on Sunday Night Football. They've been on Thursday Night Football and Monday Night Football. So, it's not like the NFL is just opposed to putting the Titans on TV, but you better be halfway decent if you're going to make it.
Yeah. The reason they change, we're talking about all these flexing possibilities, and of course they don't kick in too often, but they happen, and they happen purely because you don't want a lopsided, a bad team that has nothing going for it. It's not I don't think there's ever been a flexing decision that's this team has this star we want to put on or whatever. It's just about having competitive games that people who follow the league want to watch, and that means something because the teams are good. It's not like the Titans. I mean, the Titans had star power with Derrick Henry in those years when they were getting quite a few primetime games. I mean, obviously, it's not like the quarterback was a big draw or like that. It was a good
no,
team.
like look, the NFL for sure makes decisions based on matchup / star power at times, right? Like, I mean, it's not a coincidence when Tom Brady's going back to New England that game's on Sunday Night Football, right? Like, it's, there are definitely decisions that are made that way, but I still think at the baseline of all that, there's a good matchup involved with it too, just in terms of teams that are good. Like, if Tom Brady went and played for the Arizona Cardinals, and maybe Brady's a bad example because it's Tom Brady, but let's say it's, I don't know, Baker Mayfield going back to play against the Browns, right? And good quarterback, but it's not like some superstar thing. Like, are they putting that on Sunday Night Football? Probably not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, probably not. Jared from Spring Hill says Ward has more documentaries than primetime games. Hilarious for this, air quotes, great QB. Jared, I think, might be the foremost Cam hater. Like, what if Cam ends up being good? Like, what if Cam is actually like who they drafted him to be? I mean, that is still possible, is it not?
I would assume so. Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, I'm not predicting it, but I mean, just saying. You never know. Keep an open mind.
David Big Rock says, not just terrible, but the complete lack of anything dynamic on offense makes it like watching paint dry, too. I mean, that is the other thing. Like, if the Titans were some explosive offensive team,
like Derrick Henry was a draw.
Yeah, for sure.
If you had a receiver, an A.J. Brown, for example, just throwing out a random name of a, exciting player. Yeah, that would matter.
And here's another part of this, too, which definitely is starting, I think, to factor in more and more. Like, we've talked about this, Netflix, Amazon, Peacock, like all these things, they're paying all this money to have these broadcasts. Well, if you're Amazon, we talked about Thursday Night Football a couple of days ago. It used to be you turn on the Thursday night game and you're like, this is not very good. Like, you got to be really committed to watching football and loving football to watch the Thursday night matchup between like the Cardinals and the, whoever at that time. Well, now you're Amazon, you're putting all this money into it. They want good matchups, right? Like, if you're going to spend all this money, they want to have good matchups.
They've got some good ones.
Yeah, they do. And that factors into it as well. Like, they've changed their approach with how they schedule these games too, because of all the money that's flowing into it.
I think Joe made a good point earlier this week about the Titans just lack of moving the needle right now. Nationally, click wise, TV wise, the Titans and the fan base, they just don't bring it enough to make it worth it for some of these outlets to put them out on all the time.
But again,
whether that's a website, whether that's a TV market, whether that's whoever, there's just not enough clicks. There's not enough watches for them to make it worth it.
Well, again, there's a very simple fix to this. Win games. Yeah. You start winning games, all this changes.
Yeah, because if you're good enough, like, people notice, and people, again, the NFL has enough. I mean, obviously, fans of teams and all that, but there's a lot of people who are really. That's part of why it's so dominant into the league and and following storylines. I'll go back to '99. I think I was like a lot of people around the country fascinated with the Tennessee Titans because, one, it was like on TV, it looked like that stadium was like, and that's what everybody talked about. This is a college football atmosphere in the NFL, and you have McNair and Eddie. And I mean, that was a team, regardless of the Titans fan base, that was exciting to the league. I loved that team, and I was rooting for them hard in the Super Bowl just because I just kind of adopted them. I think a lot of people around the country felt that way about that team.
Yeah.
So that can happen. So maybe that'll be maybe Cam, Tate, emerging out of nowhere 5th round star Nick Singleton will become a similar story. You never know.
615-737-1025. Our phone number. Rexrode's ready to go game by game with the Tennessee Titans coming up next. We'll do that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Friday morning, presented by Green Ventures Landscaping. Get thicker grass, better color, fewer bare spots with turf application. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Turron Davenport with us at 8 o'clock for his weekly visit. Got the Rex Rant, Joe Rexrode coming up later this hour at 7:45. Weekend winners at 8:30 on the program today. All that ahead. Taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Game by game. It's time to go game by game. Now that the Titans schedule is out, just roll through it. Rexrode, would you like to do the honors? Would you like to go first? How do you want to do this?
Well, I think we should all
go one at a time?
Yeah.
Okay.
We should all go each game, right?
Okay, let's do that. Let's start here. The New York Jets at home. Robert Saleh taking on his old team. First game of the season. A home opener for the Tennessee Titans, which I don't think has happened since 2022. Is that the last time they've opened the season?
Was that the Giants game?
I believe so.
That they bungled?
It was the Giants game that they bungled in 2021. I think they opened at home against Arizona, and Taylor Lewan gave up 1,000 sacks in one game. And then was recognized heading back on the field.
He was. Get your butt back out there, Taylor Lewan.
Still one of the greatest things I've ever seen. It was awesome. So, Ian Safar, let's begin with you. Who do you have between the Tennessee Titans and the New York Jets in week 1?
Okay, I think I have to put this one as a should win.
There we go.
Yeah. Home game against the Jets, week 1, should win.
There we go.
Oh, wait. Are you doing doing like the should? We're doing the Stilly thing?
I am, yeah. That's my scientific formula that I've
developed.
Adopted, yeah.
There you go.
Are we gonna do?
You don't have to. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
What's that?
They're winning. That's what I'm doing. I'm picking wins and losses.
Okay. All right. So
Titans are 1-0.
I will type in your should.
Okay.
Ian.
Yeah, you can add that as a win. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'll do a win too. I mean,
boy.
I know.
Oh boy.
I know. But I mean,
it is the Jets.
Yeah. It's like Geno, I think, is kind of washed now. And I think the Titans defense has a chance to come right out and be pretty good. So I'll take the dub.
All right. Philadelphia Eagles in game number 2 for the Tennessee Titans at home. Back-to-back home games to begin the season. Joe Rexrode, who we got between the Titans and the Eagles?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I don't think A.J. Brown will be part of this. I don't think it'll be an A.J. Brown homecoming. I think it'll be on the New England Patriots, but I'll take the Eagles to win that game.
Yeah, I will quickly take the Philadelphia Eagles to drop the Titans to 1-1. Ian Safar?
I'll join you. Should lose.
Okay.
Not a will lose, but should lose.
Okay. Moving to
remind me of your categories. Will, should,
toss up.
But see, these toss ups, you got to go dub and L, man.
I will.
Okay.
But they even out.
Okay.
As we go through. I got 4 toss ups.
Okay.
They equal 2 wins at some point.
There you go. There you go.
Science, math.
Okay.
A lot of formulas going on here. At the New York Giants. So 2 New York teams in the first 3 weeks. I'll start on this one. Give me a dub. Titans take down the Jets and the Giants. The whole city of New York crying. The state of New Jersey crying when it comes to the Tennessee Titans. Titans start the season 2-1. Joe Rexrode on the road against the Giants.
Yeah, I've got the same. I mean, you can't get revenge on Robert Saleh's employer and not do the same thing with Brian Dable's employer.
That's right.
I think it'll be harder because obviously Harbaugh's a good coach and very interested to see what Jackson Dart is, just like I'm very interested to see what Cam Ward is in year 2. But I'll give let's say Wan'Dale Robinson makes a couple plays and the Giants miss him.
Going against your boy Scattaboo. Ian Safar, who we got?
That's
concussions. They don't exist.
Yeah, is he going to be ready for the season?
I have no idea.
He broke his ankle, didn't he?
I have no
Pretty
idea.
bad. Giants at the Giants, road game.
Yep.
Should lose.
There you
Loss.
go.
Yep.
Okay.
There you go. I like it.
Okay. So,
do we even need to discuss the at Baltimore game? Does anybody have them winning that game?
No, but I mean, I don't know what the heck Baltimore's going to be.
I think
this
that's
year.
my only will lose of the season.
Okay.
That's your only will lose?
Yeah.
You guys, I mean, last year I was too high on Baltimore. I mean, I certainly think they could be really good, but like Jesse Minter as a head coach, I don't know. I mean, Lamar, Is Derrick Henry immortal? He might be, actually.
He's going to run for 300 yards. against the Titans.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we've all got losses. So, okay, so 2-2 for us, 1-3 for Ian.
That is correct. At home against the Houston Texans on Sunday, October the 11th. Joe Rexrode, what we got?
I'm going to give him a win. Every time I give them a win, I'm going to be like, oh, I'll give them a win. But, the Texans, obviously, I think they're the surest thing in this division. But, yeah, I'll give them a win.
Okay.
I don't have great reasoning.
Okay.
It's a home game. It's a rivalry.
That's the best defense in the NFL. Loss for the Tennessee Titans. Dropping down to 2-3. Ian, who we got?
Should lose. Yep.
Okay.
It's a home game. I'll give him a should.
Okay. There you go. On the road against Indianapolis. Back-to-back divisional games. Ian, start us off with that one.
Yeah, road game. It's a loss. A road, I got to put it as a should lose.
I mean, I have a lot of questions about the Colts. Is Daniel Jones going to be healthy? If he is he going to be any good again? But I'll go loss on that one to drop the Titans to 2-4. Rexrode, what we got?
Yeah, I'm going to give the Colts that one in Indy. Certainly, just like a lot of these games, I mean, you can make a case, but we'll go loss there.
Back at home against the Cleveland Browns. Could be a matchup again of highly anticipated quarterbacks. We'll see who's playing quarterback for Cleveland at that time, but it could be Pro Bowler Shedeur Sanders right back in the saddle for the Browns again. I'll start us off on this one. Give me a win against the Cleveland Browns, even though every time they play against Myles Garrett, it scares me. They actually did a pretty good job against Myles Garrett last year, all things considered. I'll take the Titans at home, getting a win against the Cleveland Browns. Ian Safar, what we got in that one?
Yep, I got a should win on this one.
There we go.
I'm not going to go will win, but I'm going to go should, even though I considered a will.
Okay.
Should win. Browns.
How many will do you have?
How many will wins? No, I do not. That was probably my closest one right there.
Closest to a will?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Joe, who we got?
Well, I'm going win. I got the Titans at 4-3 right now, boys.
Yeah,
Titans are they are right in the mix, baby.
Okay. On the road against the Cincinnati Bengals, back-to-back games against teams from Ohio. Joe Rexrode, who we got in that one?
I will take Joe Burrow and company in this one.
Yeah, I will too. I think it's not that I think the Bengals are some juggernaut. That could be a pretty high-scoring game when it comes down to it, but I don't foresee the Titans stopping Jamar Chase. So that's a tough one. I'll go Cincinnati to win that one. Ian Safar, what we got?
Should lose. Yep. On the road, good team.
So heading into the bye week, I believe, Rexrode, what do you have the Titans 4-4?
I'm sitting there at 4-4.
I've got them at 3-5. Ian at 2-6. Is that where we are at this point? So again, pretty good time for the bye week there. Coming off of it at home against Jacksonville in the first of two matchup against Jacksonville in a 3-week span. The home game against Jacksonville. Ian, who we got?
I considered this one a toss-up, but I went with should lose just because I think Jacksonville is pretty good.
Okay. I will go loss in that one against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Unfortunately, that will be 3 wins in a row if the Jags get it against the Titans under the James Gladstone era, which at some point the Titans got to figure out a way to not let that happen. Joe Rexford, who we got?
Titans dub.
There we go.
5-4 Tennessee Titans.
Wow. How about that?
I did not do drugs today.
How about that? On the road against the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry World. Joe, kick us off with that one.
That one I will give to Dak and company. I'll give that to the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys might actually be kind of good this year.
I think they might be. They have done some work on the defensive side of the ball. We'll see what that looks like.
Yeah.
I don't think Rashawn Gary is going to be particularly effective, but we'll see. Give me the Dallas Cowboys to win that one as well. Ian, who we got on the road against Dallas?
Yep, at Dallas. Titans should lose that one.
Okay.
So I'm going with a loss.
Moving back to the Milky Pool against Jacksonville for the second matchup in 3 weeks against the Jags. I will once again take Duval in that one in Jacksonville. So the Jags sweep the Titans. Rexwell, what we got?
Yeah, I'm not picking the Titans to sweep anybody in this division. That just doesn't seem realistic to me. They'll lose the return game.
Ian?
Correct.
There we go. Washington at home. Let's go rapid fire here. I've got a win for the Titans against the Washington Commanders. Joe Rexrode?
I've got a loss there.
I put that one as a toss-up. It's a home game against Washington, but I'm going to put that toss-up as an L.
Okay, there we go. On the road against the Detroit Lions, Ian Safar. What we got on that one?
At Detroit, I put should lose. Considered will lose, but I went with should lose at Detroit.
I think the Titans will lose that game on the road against the Detroit Lions. Rexrode, do you have the Titans taking down the beloved Lions?
Damn right. No, I'm just kidding. Loss.
Wow. I'm kind of stunned.
I want to.
I know you do.
I really want to.
That's why I thought you would. At home against the Indianapolis Colts. Joe Rexrode, kick us off with that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them an L in this one. So the Colts with the sweep, sad to say.
Give me a win. They'll take down Indianapolis in the home game right before Christmas. Merry Christmas to Titans fans. You take down the Colts at home. Ian, what we got?
I got a toss up in this one. Home game, divisional game. I'll sneak this toss up into a win.
Okay. For the second consecutive season, Titans on the road in Vegas, taking on the Raiders. Rexrode, what we got in that one?
Give me the Titans. Give me by now. Mendoza will be playing.
Yep.
They'll be bad. The Titans will be bad. The Titans, at this point for me, I have the Titans at 5-9. So that's actually still in those graphics of like holding on to some faint playoff hopes, and they get a win to keep those alive.
I think they beat the Raiders as well on the road, taking down the Raiders. Ian, what we got in that one?
This is another toss up here. We'll stretch of toss up games towards the end at the Raiders. I am also going to make this one a dub.
There we go. Sweep for the Titans against the Raiders with us. What will likely be the final home game in Nissan Stadium against, I presume, Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll start us off. They win it, baby. They win the final home game in Nissan Stadium against the Steelers. Rexrode, what we got?
Same. You gotta win the last one. You gotta do it. And again, it's the logo, but it's Mike McCarthy and some shell of Aaron Rodgers or whatever, whoever maybe Mason Rudolph will be starting by then. Give me the Titans.
There we go. Ian, who we got?
I have this one as a toss-up, considering it's a home game in Pittsburgh. I'm not so sure, but I have to give this one an L.
There we go. Final against the finale against Houston on the road. I got a loss in that one.
Should lose that one for me.
Yep.
Okay. So what does that put our final records at there?
I lost track of you guys, but for me, it's a pretty optimistic 7-10.
I had him at 6-9 or 6-11.
I got 4-13.
There you go.
Okay. Ian 4-13. And if Ian's right, oh, what a fun time it'll be this fall. Robby 6-11, and I'm Mr. Homer at 7-10.
Hey, there you go.
There it is.
So there's your Titans game by game. Now that the schedule is out, we'll take your thoughts on that range that we have on the show, anywhere from 4-13 to 7-10. What are your expectations for the Tennessee Titans? More coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts on the Titans. Rexrode's initial walk through the schedule has them at 7-10. I was at 6-11. Ian's at 4-13. Caleb on the text line says, "Man, 7-10 would feel like 15-2."
Would it?
Would it?
I
I don't know if it would feel like that, but it would certainly be way more tolerable than 3-14.
Yeah,
like being in the actual, I don't know about race, but being somewhat interesting in the last month of the season, that'd be nice.
Yeah, like again, just December football of more meaning than should I root for him to win, or like, do you think we could get Jeremiah Smith if we lose all? You know, like, can you, like, so there's no arguments about whether you should root for the Titans or not, like in December, you know, in early December at least, mid-December maybe. Yes, they're still actually trying to get into the playoffs.
I hope we can move on from that anyway. I mean, you've already drafted a quarterback and a wide receiver pretty high, so
yeah, but Jeremiah
let's try
Smith,
to win.
though. Yeah, but Jeremiah Smith, come on now.
I mean, I understand.
That'd be pretty good.
I'd like to win some football games. That'd be great.
That would be probably preferable.
I mean,
To
look,
not
if
just
it's the
stink out
alternative,
loud again.
like let me tell you this: if it ends up going the way that Ian just said it would, and they're 4-13, guess what we'll be talking about? It won't be Jeremiah Smith; it'll be Cam Ward at that point.
Cam Ward, Mike Bergonzi,
Yeah,
Robert
that's
Saleh,
what we'll be
like,
talking
yeah,
about at that point.
Yeah, right. Should Bryce Wasserman coach and GM the team, etc.
So the Titans finally stop messing around, get Kuharski in there as GM. There's a lot of things that'll be discussed.
It is
at
crazy
point.
that they haven't tried to hire him away
I know.
from his own website.
One texter talking about how Rexrode knows the least amount of ball compared to everyone on the station. The least amount.
All right. Is this Big Joe's new number? I thought I speculated that it might be a PK troll number. But that's definitely like a Big Joe type text. Let me tell you something. Troll account. I'll put my ball knowing against everybody at this station, and I will not finish last. Okay. I know I will not finish last. I will not specify who I know for sure that I will out ball know.
Rexrode knows
You
ball.
put it, fill in your own names.
Yeah, Rexrode knows ball. DK Mount Juliet says, yeah, Titans probably pass on Jeremiah Smith anyway. It was like, yeah, we don't need him. He's fine. He took Cornell Tate last year. We don't need him.
We got the better Ohio State receiver.
It'll be good. Oh boy.
Just really need to get away from the primary conversation before Thanksgiving being about the draft.
I'd really love to not even really consider talking about the draft until about mid-February next year. It's like, oh yeah, I guess Super Bowl's over. We can start to get into looking at the prospects.
Yeah, like college football sometimes sparks draft talk in general, like in terms of, oh wow,
Sure.
whatever. This quarterback is coming out of nowhere. Oh, actually Arch is not going, whatever, like stuff like that. Fine. Relative, like overall here and there based on college football results, it's fine. But yes, the NFL town talking about their draft, I mean, that should only happen that should happen like every once in a while.
Yeah.
Some of them, it's just a chronic condition.
A-Dub says year 2 is a more realistic jump with this coaching staff and players. I wouldn't expect much this year with O-line and depth. I mean, I hear that. I mean, we are just coming off a season where the Chicago Bears hired a head coach and immediately won the division and got to the playoffs with a second-year quarterback. The New England Patriots hired a head coach and, regardless of what's going on with him now, did step in with a second-year quarterback and get to the Super Bowl. So I'm not saying the Titans have to, be the Bears from last year or the Patriots from last year, but it's not – it shouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that you see a pretty significant jump. Like, I guess you and I can define – what is a realistic jump to us. I mean, I'm sure that means different things to different people, but a jump is kind of the minimum of what I'm looking for this year. Like, there needs to be a jump. It doesn't have to be winning the division type jump, but you got a jump of some kind that's at least doubling your win total is really not all that negotiable to me. That needs to happen.
Yeah. Like the examples you just laid out there. I don't expect Cam Ward to be Caleb Williams of last year and, just make these plays that are just outrageous. And again, I'm still keeping an open mind on Caleb Williams. and where it goes from here, because there's still some, there's some inconsistencies, but overall it was still like this. Oh, wow. Or Drake May, who's an MVP candidate. Drake May all year, it was excellent. And, there were some limitations with that team and all that, and they played an easier schedule, whatever. I don't expect Cam Ward to, make that kind of jump, but it needs to be significant.
Yeah.
And if it is, it's hard for me to believe the bottom line. That's where, again, I went 7-10, the most optimistic of the bunch. That is somewhat based on the expectation that Cam Ward takes a significant step forward. And if he doesn't, then it's just the conversations are, you can imagine so many conversations.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Someone says I'm a homer and you love me. Thank you.
Well,
Joe's just a homer and I love him.
GB Joe, Vandy Joe, Titan Joe. Any kind of Joe you want, we got here on the program.
That's right. Keith says, remind me, what's the name of Carsey's website? I don't know, man.
Not sure. I don't think he's ever said it. Yeah, 7-10. I don't know. If you ask Titans fans right now, would they sign up for that? If you said, hey, Titans are going to go 7-10 this year, would you take that if you're a Titans fan?
I wouldn't.
I'd probably let it play out too. But
yeah,
that also is a scenario that if it ended up that way, I would not be upset by it. Okay, so there's a little bit of progress being shown here.
Yeah, again, it's the question is always okay, 7-10 how? 7-10 with great defense doesn't excite me. But also, yeah, if I'm a Titans fan, I don't accept that. I'm looking at these teams you just mentioned, and we always mention the Texans, we always mention the Commanders, and I'm holding out hope for that. And frankly, if you tell me 7-10, then that's where, as a Titans fan, I'm going to sit there and say, okay, so how much better is that than 5-12? And if it's 5-12, well, damn it, I want Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah. Well,
so
look,
make it 3-14.
You're going to run into Titans fans and say, well, if you're going to miss the playoffs, you might as well just be bad and get Jeremiah Smith, right? That's what it is. So I'm not as concerned about that part of it, partly because I think you can still find some pretty good players in next year's draft in the 12
apparently
to
13
it's the
greatest
range.
draft ever.
Apparently it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
So doesn't matter where they pick next year, they'll be fine. But more important than who they draft moving forward is I need the picks that they've already made to show that they've got a pulse, right? You need to start to see some of those work out and play out in your bottom line. And hopefully not too far into the season, you look at the coaching staff and you say, all right, these guys know what they're doing. They're pretty competent in the coaching staff part of these things. If you're not seeing that, then you start to look at this organization and you're like, when the heck are these guys getting out of this, right? When in the world are they going to get out of this total just awful football stretch that they're in, which, as we've documented, is ongoing for a long period of time at this point.
Yeah, you're already there, but you just don't want to be at the loser table with the Cardinals and Browns and Jets forever,
Yeah.
And
Certainly don't want to be.
Right now they're going to get the milk for everybody.
615-737-1025, our phone number. More of your thoughts on the Titans to get to. The Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode coming up at 7:45. TD at 8 o'clock, all that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Our football offseason coverage brought to you by Tennessee Brew Works. From kickoff to last call, Tennessee Brew Works, the official craft beer of football offseason coverage here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. We'll have the Rex Rant coming up here in just a few minutes with Joe Rexrode. Turron Davenport from ESPN will be with us at 8 o'clock. Continuing to take your thoughts at 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Brian says the Titans are the Buffalo Sabres of the NFL, an eternal rebuild. Hey, only took the Sabres 15 years, baby.
Yeah,
only took them 15 years to get back.
Sabres are feeling pretty good right now.
They're probably about to get put out of the playoffs, but yes, they are feeling good.
But I mean, like
long-term wise, they're looking good.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So hopefully it doesn't take the Titans 15 years. That'd be great. And it's been a long time by NFL standards. It's been a long time already. Let's start to move it up the other way. And it really, we've talked about it. It really is hard to be this bad for as long as they've been this bad, and just all the dysfunction that's gone on around here. It is made like I was thinking about this the other day when we're talking about the Predators and their search for a GM, and this will be their third general manager in franchise history. This will be their they've had 4 head coaches, right? So you're talking 4 head coaches and what's about to be 3 general managers in the history of their franchise, almost 30 years. And just think of the Titans the last few years. I mean, John Robinson was here not that long ago. And you've gone from Robinson to Carthon to Borgonzi with Brinker mixed in there kind of throughout all of it. You've had Sala, you've had Callahan, you've had Vrabel all in the last few years. Like the turnover has been insane when you just compare the 2 franchises.
Yeah.
And it's not like one franchise has been like way more dramatically successful than the other either, by the way. Like it's not like the Predators have, 4 Stanley Cups that they're hanging their hat on either.
Yeah, that reminds me, there was an interesting text today about, bringing up the Sissons and Granlund, because obviously they're playing like what would be the difference if the Preds still had them? And to me, I said like nothing. I mean, nothing. Like, they'd be mediocre. Like, those guys are not needle movers. But the texter was comparing them to the AJ Brown and Henry departures, and again, Henry left. So, like of all those moves, as I say, like AJ Brown is the terrible move. But yeah, like you're watching some of these Preds do good things elsewhere and stuff like that, but they're not math changers.
No.
Not at all. I don't remember off the top of my head the exact returns on Sissons and Granlund.
Well, Sissons was a part of the Nick Hague trade.
It was Hague.
Granlund, I think you got somehow a 2nd-round pick from the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah.
So
That's right. Yeah.
Woo. That was one of David Poyle's last moves, and I remember thinking, David Poyle, you dog. Attaboy.
That was boy.
And then Granlund went on to play very well for like the Sharks and the Stars.
Yeah, I mean he's a good player,
Ducks,
but again, like he's not. That's not.
Yeah.
Not changing things. In the end,
yeah. Richie from White House. The bigger question is if the Titans go 7-10 or 6-11, will Amy fire Mike Borgonzi? No. I mean, I shouldn't say it as confidently as I just did.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
But I would have to think no. Like the only way you're getting into firing Mike Borgonzi territory is if they're like bottom of the NFL again, right? Like if they're 3-14 again, and like it becomes clear that Ward may not be the guy, and these edge rushers that he selected are not making any impacts whatsoever. I mean, even then, like you're talking another firing at general manager, like it's a tough sell, but that would be the only way I think you would even begin to consider it if you're Amy Adams Strunk. But maybe I'm overselling the stability here. I don't know.
I mean, I think you're probably right. Yeah, but if Ward at the end of year 2 is we look at him just like we looked at Levis at the end of year 2.
Yeah.
Like you said, the edge guys, so there's high picks. The inactivity in the interior of the offensive line blows up in their face. I mean, I'm not sitting here trying to advocate for Mike Borgonzi to be on a hot seat anytime soon. They should see it out. I think that he, overall there looks to be competence there, but those outcomes are still, I mean, those outcomes, if they all go the wrong way, then I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Recent
history would suggest, I mean, if you're going by trends, somebody's getting fired. I don't know who it's going to be, right? If you're going by trends, somebody around here is not going to be here in the same position that they're in. I mean, it's been how many years in a row where that's been the case, right? So I need to, I guess at this point, if you're a Titans fan, you need to see it not happen to believe it at this point.
We have seen, one firing turned into a fake, like, job title. So
it's true.
I mean, they're trying to be creative over there.
That is true. I'm going to make a bold prediction here on May the 15th. You ready for this?
All right.
No major decision maker for the Tennessee Titans will be fired or leave the organization over the next calendar year. Nobody. Saleh's still going to be here. Borgonzi will still be here. Quarterback will still be here. I'll even put him in the mix. Ward will be the starting quarterback for the Titans in 2027. I mean, surely we've reached, some point of, I guess, smartness. I don't know what else to put it, that we can move forward a little bit here with the Tennessee Titans.
I think that's I
don't
think that's a crazy prediction at all.
Unbelievable amount of ineptitude if that's not the case.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's a crazy prediction. If I had to bet, I'd bet on that outcome. I'd bet on all these people being in place when they open the new stadium. Because I think that there will be progress this year. I don't know how much. Obviously, I think more than you guys do. And I'm still not like expecting some massive turnaround story of the NFL type thing. But if you have that amount of progress, then I think that you're going to stick with that.
Yeah. I mean, 7 and 10.
You kind of have to.
Nobody's going to get excited about 7 and 10. Like, it's not like you're going to be a Titans fan at the end of the year being like, hey, all right, 7 and 10, baby, way to go. But I mean, that would demonstrate that they're starting to move a little bit here, right? Like, you want them to move further. You want them to get to, 9 and 8, somewhere in that neighborhood. But 7 and 10, you're starting to move towards that direction.
Keith does ask a relevant question. What if Borgonzi sleeps on the plane?
Well, all
That's
bets
a
are
great
off.
question. I'm assuming he is just absolutely wired out of his mind when they get on that plane.
All bets are off.
He doesn't just have one screen. He's like John Chayka with multiple screens in front of his face.
Except his work. His are actually showing vital information, unlike Chayka's, who just have it's there for show.
Yeah. I mean, eyelids propped open if you need to be. Because by God, if you sleep on a plane, oh my goodness, what a crime that is. I hope you're listening, Koharski.
Dave, you cannot let me go to sleep on the plane. Make sure I stay awake.
And if you need to give me a little extra bump in the coffee, go ahead there.
Make sure we don't fall asleep. I mean, the good news for the Titans is they're not flying that far this year. So, I mean, if you look at the schedule, and their longest trip is, I guess, Vegas, right?
Flat home from Vegas, man.
So.
Late in the year. Don't fall into it.
A lot of
break down the film.
A lot of noon games too. So like you're in the afternoon. So by the time you get home, there's still time to go eat dinner.
I know, but those mid-afternoon naps, I don't know, man. They call me. I know that. I'm called to the mid-afternoon nap. So on a plane too.
Yeah.
After a stressful day of work, can't do it. Absolutely not. That's unacceptable.
Right. That's right.
What a joke. I mean, seriously, that's one of the dumbest things still that I've ever heard.
Look, there's plenty to criticize with Ray Carthon. I don't know that one was at the top of the list.
But there's more to the story. Oh, okay. Well, you wrote about a freaking nap. I love you, PK.
The Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode is coming up next. We'll take your thoughts at 615-737-1025. Our phone number, 615-737-1025. The Nashville Sounds taking on the Iowa Cubs at First Horizon Park today. First pitch at 6:35. You can catch all the action on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks, Family Leisure, and Social Cantina. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game.
Sometimes he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. And sometimes he's just, well, Joe.
Awkward moment, let's do it.
This is the Rex Rant, now on Robby and Rexrode.
Respect the game! You think Matt likes the role play? Let's swap our sweat now.
Yeah, I'm a big swinger.
You give them baby blood?
Down by the river, I shot my baby.
Sometimes it does need to be violence, okay?
Sing us a song, country boy.
I want you to slap me in the face.
You might want to sing.
It is time for the Rex Rant, brought to you by Rapid Response Generators. Power when it matters most. Check them out at rapidresponsegenerators.com. So, Rexrode, the floor is yours.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we're hammering this a lot this week. Take a little bit of break from the Titans. We'll get back to it with TD at the top of the hour. We're hammering this a lot. And I got to be careful with this. There won't be no names named here, okay? But there's just a lot of everything going on with the farting 24-team college football playoff, including a back and forth slack yesterday at work. With one of my coworkers said it will be, quote, fantastic. Another one sort of expressed a little bit of like, okay, maybe there's like, it's not just like the worst thing. Like, let's talk about some. And I will name this name. David Ubbins said, "Oh my God, they got you too. A zombie bit you. I thought you were going to make it." Like, so I will tell you, it's vastly like 98%. This is the worst idea ever. Stuart Mandel, friend of the show, wrote a column yesterday. I thought it was great comparison. It's like, I forget the movie, but it's like, I haven't seen this movie, but it's like a meteor's coming to Earth.
It's the one with Leonardo DiCaprio in it.
The meteor.
Don't look up.
Don't look up, but then they're like convince them to go mine the meteor for like precious metals, and then it blows up the whole Earth. I guess I haven't seen this one, but basically he's comparing that to this 24-team disaster and what it would do to college football. And it's like, is anybody going to stop the meteor? You know, so that's the general consensus. But there are a couple of coworkers of mine, and there are a few people out there. I can name people from other outlets. My God, someone out here. Oh, well, I mean, I'm seeing Tim Brando out here just like, oh, this is great. You know, a few other people too that are even that you even let a glimpse of acceptance of this makes me sick. It is an objectively horrific idea, as we've talked about. ESPN is balking at this. Now, Fox loves it. In the Big Ten, you know, Tony Petitti, Fox, yeah, a lot of inventory for you guys. So you kind of see where it's a TV battle, but it's just a terrible idea. Terrible, terrible, terrible idea. The regular season is you can't really do much more here. You do this, and we don't even know the ramifications of regular season yet, but it could be potentially horrific. And yet we have people out here accepting it. I understand that coaches accept it or want it. You know, they're freaking out about their job security and year to year re-recruiting their rosters and all this stuff. I understand that it's a hard thing, even though they complain way too much. But this is not going to, again, this is the biggest thing with them that I can't stress enough. Like, people are not going to be like, oh, they made the playoff. Well, it was a great year. Tennessee fans, if Josh Heupel squeaks in at 8-4 in 2 years, with at this point Faison Brandon is his quarterback and he's a great player, and their high expectations for the 2027 team, and they go 8-4 and get in the playoff, at that point you're looking at Josh Heupel and saying, how close are we to winning a national championship? You've gotten us to a certain point. Great job. It's time to find someone who can take us to the championship. Because you snuck into the 24, you think Tennessee fans will be like, oh, I don't care. We made the playoff. That's great. No, they are not going to say that. Not one of them will. Well, okay, not one of them. A few of them who just want everything to be awesome, who sing the Lego song, will say that. But realistic people will look at it and say, this is no different at all than going 8-4 when it was a 12-team playoff, or going 8-4 when it was a 14 playoff. It means nothing. You're not getting us close to winning a national championship, and we want to win a national championship in Tennessee. But these coaches actually think that people are going to look at it differently.
They do.
And anyone in our line of work who's accepting this idea as anything but a disaster makes me want to puke. But I won't name names.
Preaching to the choir here. I mean,
it'll be, hey, get to the playoffs, but then it's like, hey, you lost in the first round of the playoff, you're out.
Yeah.
They think it's going to make them safer to make the playoffs, but some of these teams losing in the first round is not going to do it for you.
No. If a first round of a 2014 playoff, again, congratulations, you're just a tiny sliver above also receiving votes. It means nothing.
Well, by the way, like, at least before, not that you're thinking about this if you're a coach, but at least before, like, it was a 14th playoff. It was like, well, if you don't make the playoff, yeah, the playoff turned into what everybody was talking about, but it was also like, it's a very exclusive group that makes the playoff. With the 12-team playoff, it's expanded some, but there's still, like, you can have pretty good teams and not make the playoff. Like, if you miss the playoffs with 24 teams, like, if I'm Danny White or some of these ADs with all the money they spend, like, you're a coach, you missed the 2014 playoff one time, buddy.
Right.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, flip it around.
Yeah,
flip it around. And I do think that the 12 team, I think what we saw like last year is, yes, like, we don't have, I mean, Kirby's right to a point, right? Like the super teams where your threes are amazing, so other teams don't have those guys.
Sure.
It's over. And so I think that we have to look at last year and Vanderbilt and Texas and Notre Dame and BYU and say, you know what? I mean, that could have been a pretty good 16-team playoff. Like those teams, I'm not mad that those teams are in the 16-team playoff, and they are part of the spreading out of talent. And so the game has changed. So the 4-team in that era, when basically that you wouldn't have, like sometimes 5 or 6 would be such a huge step back from those teams and would get killed by those teams. It's different now. But dude, 24, it's not getting to that. It's not spreading out like that. The 25th, 26th, 27th best team are not messing with 1, 2, 3.
Well, it's not the 12.
Then you don't do
it. I mean, the 12-team playoff, I guess, is fine, but I mean, they're not 12 teams like that, much less 24 teams like that. Like, it's, again, everybody's going to point to Ohio State a couple of years ago. Ohio State, obviously, I mean, they rolled through that playoff and destroyed everyone. And they were, I forget what they were. I think they were the 8 seed that year. It wasn't Tennessee, Ohio State, the 8-9 matchup in the 12-team playoff. So you had the first round of buys, and I think Ohio State was the 8 that year. So it's like, okay, in a 14 playoff, they wouldn't have won, which I've always said, well, yeah, beat Michigan at the end of the year. You don't have to worry about it, right? You're in the playoff at that point. So, but like, I hear you on Texas and Vanderbilt and BYU and all those teams last year. None of those teams are winning a national championship. None. Like, none of those teams. Maybe Notre Dame.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, I mean, like, like those teams, I mean, obviously Indiana ended up being a wagon. Miami gave them a great game. I mean, you could look at Miami last year at times and compare them to those teams and compare them similarly, right? I mean, you can, I mean, it's different. Like there are more teams that are good. But like, again, let's do this for 20 years. Let's do 12 for 20 years, 30 years. No, we're going to go 24. And then what the hell's in 3 years later? I mean, they're going so fast. It's out of control. Cameron says, but what you're missing is the fanboys in local media in their college towns like Brian Rice will shout down anyone and scream that they made the playoffs, so they're competing for the championship. So in their towns, they will get media praise for it. Well, yeah, I mean,
I think you're firstly vastly overestimating the power that the local media has, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of that. I mean, you're right. There are always, especially I think with big time college programs, you can never do wrong. I mean, like some of the Butch, you leave Butch alone, and then he's fired. Butch sucked. Yeah. I hated that guy. Like that stuff does get pretty comical, but yeah. I mean, that's built in, right? I mean, I think most fans can see past that stuff.
Coach. Let's head back to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Corey to the program. Corey, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Thanks for taking my call. Joe, I agree wholeheartedly with you. I think 24 is way too much. But Well, the reason I think it's too much, one of the reasons is like I just think it waters down the regular season so much, so those games aren't as important as what they used to be. Even with a 12 team, it's done that to a bit. But like maybe the silver lining, not silver lining, but maybe the only way that I would go for something like that is if it meant that they do away with the bowl season, because I think bowl games are becoming even more and more and more irrelevant. Players are bowing out of it for all their reasons. It's just not even like worth watching sometimes. So I still wouldn't do it. I would stay with 12 teams. But if it meant something like the bowl season went away with and we didn't have all these just games that meant nothing and players that are sitting out, maybe that would be a small consolation. But I'm with you, Joe. Like, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's too fast. I think it's too much. So thanks for taking my call, guys.
Thank you, Corey. Appreciate it.
Real quick, because I know we got to go. I totally disagree with that. I watch the bowl games, and yeah, a lot of players opt out, but sometimes you get to watch young players who are playing next year playing the bowl game. I mean, I still want bowl games. You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's way down the list of my concerns. But yeah, I mean, I want bowl
like
games.
I watch college football if it's on.
Sure. I mean, to a degree.
Don't take it away.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want it to be taken away, but yeah, I mean, the whole thing's a mess. And there's no question it waters down the regular season. The regular season's already been watered down, which is what I've been saying for the jump. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Turron Davenport with us coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
ESPN's Turron Davenport, Talking Titans, now on Robby and Rexrode on ESPN, 102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
It is that time of the week. We head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Turron Davenport to the program, brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law. TD with us every Friday morning at 8 o'clock. Turron, good morning, buddy. How we doing?
Good morning. Good morning. What a beautiful morning it is after a sweep of the Detroit Tigers.
Woo!
Yeah, I was hoping this wouldn't come up. Do we have more Tigers or Mets fans at this station? I think we have three Tigers fans.
Yeah.
3 Tigers fans?
Well, me, D. Mace, and Jake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I D. Mace doesn't talk about them too much.
He does not.
So I did not put him in that category. However, okay.
But you and Willie can talk your stuff this week. Now they both basically equally suck on the season, right? Pretty much.
Well, you know what? Ian's a Mets fan, so we're gonna.
That's right.
We're not gonna cut him out of it.
That's right.
Crap,
the guy who so swiftly came up with the idea to meet the Mets.
That's right.
I would have actually thought those two, like, we could be talking like about these two in the World Series this year going into the year. I don't think that anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, look, man, the Dodgers, I don't know if you saw the news flash that they signed Jesus from Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Yeah, they signed everybody, including
It's coming
him.
in as the closer. Yeah. It's going to close it out there. Good stuff. TD, not that this is some huge surprise, but it has upset some Titans fans that we've heard from today. No primetime games for the Tennessee Titans with the schedule coming out. Again, not a huge surprise, but what do you make of back-to-back years, 0 primetime games for the Tennessee Titans?
Well, have you checked the record?
I have.
Back-to-back years of 3-14 among the worst teams in the league, and this is what happens. I get it, but the mental gymnastics that a lot of Titans fans go through to be upset about something is look, your team has to win games in order for you to get prime time. It's just is what it is. Now, did the NFL drop the ball by not having a primetime game, Titans and Ravens, with Derrick Henry, one of the best players in the league, facing his own team, and the rivalry that these two organizations have? Sure. Did they drop the ball not having them play the Giants, a clash of young quarterbacks and Jackson Dart and Cam Ward? Yeah, but it just is what it is, and this is what happens when your team, you have to win your way, earn your way into Monday Night Football or any of the primetime games, and unfortunately the Titans, they just haven't done that. We're not in an era, although we're in an era, actually, where you give out, 7th place ribbons and participation trophies. The NFL, they chose not to do that, and it just is what it is.
So, what else about this schedule stands out to you, TD? I look at it and I feel like there's nothing like egregious in terms of, stretches that are brutally hard. Like, it seems like it's kind of balanced, like in terms of teams that, at least on paper right now, look like, more manageable games. The idle week is nicely more in the middle of the season. It's not like too early. I think that's something that, I know as a team, I think you hate the idea of knowing you got to play like 11, 12 straight weeks to end the season. Anything else about it that stands out to you?
Yeah, well, if you look at it, you got 4 of your 6 division games and after the bye, so that's pretty cool. And including, what is it? They got Jacksonville. Is it Jacksonville? I think it is a home and away.
2 out of 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have that, but nothing egregious, nothing difficult. I really think that the schedule is right on course, and I don't think they have any bad stretches or anything like that. It's a fair schedule, and I mean, I love the fact that Robert Saleh is opening up his coaching career for the Titans against his former team. That's a nice little bit of drama there too. So there's a lot of good things on the schedule to me.
Yeah, TD, there's drama in that, and I don't want to make too much of this because it is a week 1 game, but it is like when you look at the Jets schedule, their first 4 games are at the Titans, against the Packers, at the Lions, and at the Bears. So if you're the New York Jets, you'd probably better beat the Titans in week 1 when it comes up, because that's a heck of a run that you've got to start with Aaron Glenn that is already, you know how that market is, TD. I mean, he's under fire heading into this. So it's a very intriguing week 1 game from that standpoint, with two teams that have been as bad as those two teams have been.
Yeah, it is. It is. I like the opener there. And in fact, we did a video for our SC for You series, and I picked that as the most important game of the year. And I think it's just being able to go in there. And I mean, this team, they haven't won a season opener since 2020, man.
Yeah.
So you look at that, and you look at the 3-14 records, and it's a good opportunity to put the league on notice. Like, hey, wait a minute, this is not the same Titans. And that's what I know they're going to be looking to do, and I like that.
So we went through TD, and we went game by game. I came up 7-10. Robby 6-11. Ian 4-13. But my question for you is, and I've had this kind of back and forth with a listener in the YouTube chat. Let's say the Titans are, like what I guess any of those outcomes, but even if they're like 6 wins, 7 wins. Do you think that Brian Daboll is a prime candidate to be plucked away, or do you think that they need like they would have to have a better season than that, more winning than that? Obviously, we know Cam Ward's play is probably the most important thing, but let's say they're like 6-11. Cam Ward takes a decent step, but not some massive step. Is Brian Daboll still an attractive candidate for other jobs, head coaching jobs?
I think he's going to be a candidate regardless. But a lot of it is going to depend on even within those wins or within those losses. Like if they have a bunch of 35 to 30 losses, it's like, well, that's not really on Daboll. He had the offense going for the most part, and he should be a hot candidate. But I think it's really important for Daboll, and I feel like he understands that. It's not from conversation with or anything like that. It's just from knowing how a lot of these guys look at their second go around. You got to make sure it's the right opportunity, because you're not going to continue to get them over and over and over again. So for me, when I look at this, yeah, I mean, it's going to be good for him to be a candidate, but he has to pick the right job and the right opportunity, and we'll see if that comes about.
TD, what do you think Cam Ward being on quarterback on Netflix, and what do you make of kind of the class that he's with Jaden Daniels, Joe Flacco, and Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, that's really interesting. I like the idea of him being on. I always love to, see that team get extra attention, because it's good for business, So we'll see, what they captured. The whole crew of quarterbacks, I think, is pretty cool. Like they caught lightning in a bottle, right? With Joe Flacco.
Oh yeah,
this guy, 40 years old, and he made his first Pro Bowl. Of course, he was like the 12th alternate, but still. He got in there, and I think that's pretty cool for him. And I want to see that documented. And I know, Joe Flacco is a guy that's not afraid to speak his mind. So I'm sure there's going to be a good share of sound bites. So I like that. And speaking of not afraid to speak their mind, Baker Mayfield, he's always willing to talk. And then, Jaden Daniels, getting them behind the scenes, look at that tough year, after such a great rookie season.
Do you have a favorite schedule, release, social media submission, TD? I don't know if you'll be able. I mean, I know I haven't been able to watch them all. I've watched a few of them.
You know what, man? I've been disappointed by all of them that I've seen. Honestly, I watched the Eagles one, and I got to like week 5, and I'm like, this is terrible.
I haven't seen that one yet.
At a boardroom table, and week 2, Nashville, and then it's Jordan Davis saying Cashville, Nashville, and Jordan Mailata's Siri goes off and he throws his phone, and I was like, man, what is this mess? I didn't like any of them, to be honest. I watched like 5 of them, no.
You didn't like the Titans one?
No, I didn't like it. It was to me, it was corny. I don't know. It didn't do it for me, man.
It does feel like a lot of them are. I kind of enjoy the Titans, but it does feel like, TD, a lot of them are maybe trying a little bit too hard. A little bit too much effort.
There it is, right there. There it is. And no offense to the guys over there, they do a great job. The guys and girls, they do a great job. But I didn't care for that one.
I think they're the best part of the organization, period.
Hey, listen, you say that, but go to that cafeteria and those people in there cooking and serve, man, they're the best part of the organization, man.
All right, TD, before we go, I have to get your thoughts on this. Is Corey Curtis's claim that he doesn't really like Michael Jackson or Prince maybe the worst take of all time?
What? When did this happen?
Yes. It is the worst take of all time, and I had a subtle meltdown yesterday when that was brought to my attention.
TD, I saw your face on the YouTube link. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I could not believe it. Corey, you lost so many points with me, man.
All right.
So many.
All right. I need the proper context. So, again, he's saying that the music of Michael Jackson and Prince.
He said, I think basically the gist of it was he recognizes that they're very talented, but it's just not really his cup of tea of Michael Jackson or Prince, which may be the first time in human history I've heard anyone say that.
I don't like ice cream, puppies, happiness, rainbows.
Wow. It was that blew my mind. Because, like I said in my meltdown, there isn't a human emotion that they don't have a song that will relate to it.
Yeah, like
what I mean? The range, there's got to be something in there. You like Human Nature, Billie Jean, Beat It, Insatiable, Diamonds and Pearls, Little Red Corvette, Purple Rain. Like, how could you not like Purple Rain?
I mean,
right.
If you missed it yesterday, I would encourage you to go back to the YouTube stream and look at TD's face when Jake Lyman brought this up. It was like somebody stole TD's dog from him. Like it's amazing.
Because they basically did.
Like, I can't wait till Monday now so I can yell at Corey about this.
This might be text message worthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might have to shoot him a fire text.
Yeah.
I might have to like harass him the rest of his life.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, it'll never be lived down.
TD, thank you, sir. Appreciate you taking time to be with us this morning. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
For sure, man. Appreciate you guys. Take care. Hey. Let's go, Matt.
There we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
Get that last one in.
Fair.
Get that last one.
Fair.
Turron Davenport,
Good
presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. We'll react to what TD had to say coming up next. Corey Curtis's incredible music take that he threw out there as well. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Presented by Green Ventures Landscaping. Get thicker grass, better color, fewer bare spots with turf application. Visit greenventureslandscaping.com. Little Michael Jackson coming back in.
Got some takes. Now listen,
I can't wait till Monday.
By the way, your Beatles take is one of the most horrific music takes ever uttered. So let's make sure that we keep that in mind.
Plenty of people agree with my Beatles.
Well, I mean, there's people who would say what Corey said too.
I've never heard another human being say that.
Oh, I've heard people. I mean, there's people on the text line right now. Oh yeah, overrated. Fine. People have bad music takes, but like, I need to hear Corey's actual words. Like if you're saying like I'm not the biggest fan in the world or whatever, okay, fine. But if it's like, yeah, that music's just not for me at all, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. But we got a lot of good takes. We got Texter says, this might be Stilly's number, right? 0 primetime games. The NFL doesn't believe in Cam Ward. It's so obvious. Yeah. Again, would you like Cam Ward to make a difference for you, to make up for the bad football consistently, for the small, relatively speaking, the NFL fan base? You'd like that. But I'm not looking at the NFL and saying, you don't believe in Fernando Mendoza.
No.
The Raiders have no primetime, and they have a big fan base. They have no primetime games. You don't believe in Fernando Mendoza. No, I mean, you're bad, and you're a small fan base.
Right.
That's it.
That's the 3-14 over the last 2 years. You're a fan base that nationally does not move the needle, right? Like nationally, people aren't breaking down the door to talk about the Tennessee Titans, right? So like we understand that. We've talked a lot about that. That's where this whole thing starts. Like you start to win football games, and that's going to change. Now, if you have the combination of winning football games and Cam Ward turns into a superstar, well, that's where things really change, right? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like the quarterback's not important when it comes to like national TV. And, we talked about this earlier, like with Netflix and Amazon and all these different streaming companies now getting bought into this, like, quarterback matchup, team matchup, all those things factor into it now, even more than probably they used to. So you want the perfect combination of being a good team and having a superstar quarterback. If that happens for the Titans, well, guess what? They'll become more of a national draw, right? I mean, look, I understand the Kansas City Chiefs have been around for a long time. It's not like Kansas City is just some huge, enormous national fan base prior to Patrick Mahomes getting there and Travis Kelce burying Taylor Swift, right? But things change when you have superstar players.
Yeah, that's good. But they are interesting because you're right. I mean, obviously the market size, of course, right? One of the smaller markets. I feel like sometimes, I think if you're a really good organization and you can have that consistent success, you just build a really strong, like everybody in anywhere within hundreds of miles is a huge fan. But I also think you do collect like random fans, like that happens, right? So that's an interesting one. I would actually love to know like where Kansas City ranks, in terms of like all the metrics of fans that we look at in the NFL. All those metrics we talked about earlier, Ian was talking about earlier, like the Titans are at the bottom. They're very close to the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. Like Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh also not the biggest market, but it's a huge fan base because of it going back to the 70s and those probably the greatest teams ever. But like, that consistent success and the brand and all that stuff and the consistent stability. So they have way outgrown their market, right? In terms of fan base, I would say. And I think Chiefs probably a little bit too. But you're right. Before this era with Reed, Mahomes, and everything, whatever. I mean, they'd had some good teams. They had Len Dawson ripping darts on the sideline. I mean,
Hank Stram. Back in the day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Matriculate, down the field, et cetera, et cetera. And some good, I love Christian McCoy. He was great in Tecmo Bowl. But yeah, like, so if you can find a great player, and again, I think the Titans were a lot more attractive team in the NFL at large. I mean, we can go back to how many primetime games they got in 01 and 02 and 03 and all that stuff. They had a star at quarterback and they had a star at running back. And I think general NFL fans wanted to watch them. They don't want to watch the Titans now. Maybe Cam Ward can change that at some point. But to flip it around and say this is about him is goofy as hell.
Yeah, I would agree. And the bottom line is, you go win 8-9 games this year if you're the Titans, you'll get You'll get a primetime game next year.
Yeah.
You'll get one.
If they think that you're like one of the
Ascending
good teams,
teams, yeah.
and can play another good team in a good game,
You'll get one.
then they like that idea. Right now, they think you get smoked by a good team in a game like that.
Right.
So I don't want to watch that.
615-737-1025, our phone number. Weekend winners coming up next. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
It's time to pick some winners. We hope. Robby and Rexrode have weekend winners for you. Now
On ESPN.
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It is time for weekend winners here on the program. A standings update in the competition. Ian Safar continuing to just light it up. 4-2 last week with his lock. I went 3-3, no lock. Rexrode 2-4 with his lock, which brings the overall standings. Ian Safar in first place, 35-37 overall, 10-2 on his locks, 45 points. Joe Rexrode, 34-38 overall, 6-6 on his lock, 40 points. I am 32-40, 6-6 on my locks, 38 points. Not very good.
Ian, we gotta cool him off.
Cool him off. We begin with the Detroit Pistons trying to avoid elimination, taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight in Game 6. The Cavaliers a 3.5-point favorite. Ian Safar, you're up first in this selection. Who do we have between the Pistons and the Cavs?
I have faith in my Pistons. They will. I don't know. I think they I think they win tonight. Force a Game 7. So I'm going to take them to at least cover the 3.5.
Okay, going with the Pistons. Joe Rexrode, Cavs favored by 3.5 in this one.
Yeah, fart the Pistons. Cavs win by 10.
No lock. Okay.
No, I'm not locking it, but
right.
Yeah, Cavs.
I
I don't want to watch the Pistons anymore.
will take the Cavs as well. I think the Pistons are running out of gas here a little bit. So I will go Cleveland to get it done tonight and cover the 3.5-point spread at home. The San Antonio Spurs taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight as well, also in Game 6. Spurs with an opportunity to close it out. San Antonio a 5.5-point favorite. Joe Rexrode, who do we have in this one?
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game, and it'll go into the fourth, and I think they'll distance themselves a little bit and win by about 8 to 10 points. So give me the Spurs.
I'm also taking the Spurs. I think things close out tonight for them. Bad week to be a Minnesota sports fan. Get the Wild out earlier this week. I think the Timberwolves are going to follow suit tonight, but we'll see. Spurs favored by 5.5. Ian Safar, your selection.
Yeah, 5.5 on the road in an elimination game seems kind of like a high number, so I am going to also take the Spurs.
There you go. Montreal Buffalo, Game 6 coming up at Bell Center. Montreal got the win last night to take a 3-2 lead in that series. So the Canadians coming back home for Game 6 with an opportunity to close out the Sabres and move on to the Eastern Conference Final to take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Give me Montreal in this one. I think Montreal is the better team. I think Montreal will win at home, and we will get a Carolina Canadiens conference final there. Spicy. Ian, who we got in that matchup?
Yeah, I am also going to take Montreal. I don't feel great about it. I could see this going to a Game 7. But I think we talked about it earlier in the week. Buffalo, this kind of feels like a next step kind of series for them. So I am going to take Montreal to advance.
Joe Rexrode, the Canadians and the Sabres coming up in Game 6.
We're doing a lot of agreeing here, but I will go a step further. Give me Montreal. Make that my lock.
Guarantee.
Locking down on the Canadians at home to close things out in what I'm sure will be a raucous environment at Bell Center up there in Montreal. We move to the individual portion of the program. Ian Safar, your first individual selection.
Okay, I'll go ahead and get my lock. I'm going to do baseball. Give me the Braves tonight. -1.5 versus the Red Sox. Coming off a loss to Chicago. I think Atlanta is. I think they kind of back to reality against a team that's not so good. I think they'll get a win.
Well, I'll just go ahead and get mine out of the way. Braves -1.5 against the Red Sox as well. Joe Rexrode, your first individual selection.
Yeah, that was on my list too. Are we allowed to do that?
Sure.
All right.
It's okay. We've done it before.
That probably means we'll all be wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
And especially since I locked it.
There you go.
Actually,
Thanks for that.
I hope we are right.
Yeah, you probably did that on
Actually.
purpose. Yeah.
Joe, your second individual selection.
I'll stick with baseball. Cubs, White Sox. White Sox getting 1.5. White Sox suck. I don't know if anybody's ever thought about that or talked about it, but the White Sox suck. So give me the Cubs.
Going with the Cubs, -1.5
Forever.
against the White Sox. Give me Tage Thompson in Game 6 for the Sabres. The over-under shots on goal set at 3.5. Over. He's going to be firing from everywhere in this game. I'll take the over 3.5 shots on goal, and I will make it my lock. Locking down on Tage Thompson in an elimination game. If I was him, I'd just be winding up the whole game. So we'll see what happens on that front. Ian Safar, your second individual selection.
All right, I'm going back to the well. Nashville SC. Give me a dub at home versus LAFC. This is going to be a tough game. I was thinking draw, but I'm going to be rooting for a win. So give me a win. Good midweek win on Wednesday. Coming back home. I think I'm going to go with the dub.
There you go. I will kick off the final round of individual selections. Give me the New York Yankees -1.5 against the New York Mets. TD just got his shots in on Rexrode with Mets. I think the Yankees, Kuharski, going to get his shots in on TD this weekend. Give me Yankees -1.5 against the New York Mets. Joe Rexrode, your final individual selection.
Yeah, so Pistons, Cavs, over under 210.5. I think it's going to be pretty ugly, a mucked up game, and I think that I'm going to go with the under 210.5.
Going under 210.5 in Game 6. Ian Safar, your final individual selection.
Yeah, slim pickings here towards the end. Running out of baseball, running out of hockey. What's this hockey not Western Conference not starting till Wednesday, huh?
Yeah, I think they're trying to make sure that the second round's over before they start. So I guess there's technically still a chance for a Game 7 in the East. So
which would be Monday, and so it kind of gets pushed back. That's a long break for Colorado, huh?
Yes.
And Carolina for that
Carolina's
matter.
been sitting there. They could have gone on vacation and come back.
What's Darren York doing? Is he busy?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
You can drive to Nashville and back and still get back. You can probably run to Nashville and back and get back before the next game starts.
You could explore Broadway to the fullest.
I guess I have to make a pick, huh?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take the over-under on Spurs and T-Wolves, actually.
Okay.
I think I'm going under.
What is it?
Spurs, T-Wolves.
218.5.
218.5. Ian going with the under.
Yeah, these elimination games tend to get a little, tight, perhaps. So I think I'm going to take the under.
Going under 218.5 for Spurs and the T-Wolves. I did that. I can't remember which game I did that with last week. I was thinking, all right, this could be a little bit of an ugly game. I think it may have been OKC and the Lakers in Game 3. And I think OKC scored like 144 points in that game. I was like, oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Awesome. So we'll see. That is weekend winners this week. All of us taking the Braves against the Red Sox, and all of us taking the Montreal Canadiens and the Spurs. A lot of agreement this week.
Yeah. Somehow that'll still end up going in Ian's favor.
He did. He was the only one that took the Pistons to cover against the Cavs.
And frankly, I mean, I hope you're right. I just don't think you are. Because they stink.
You guys had zero faith last week.
That's true.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're totally right.
Caleb wondering what's going on with Duran.
Yeah.
We've had several off-the-air conversations about that.
Yeah, no, it's incredibly. I think there is a real thing that goes on sometimes with guys who get numbers, and he's a good player. But talking about a max deal for this guy, and he had a great regular season. It's at this point, it's 2 full series full of the limitations on full display, averaging 9 points a game. Defensively, he's been awful. He has cost himself so much money in this postseason. I think he has, and I guess we'll find out. But you can't max that guy. I mean, there's no way in hell. Paul Reed is flat out better than him and should play. I hope JB Biggerstaff plays Paul Reed 30 minutes tonight. I mean, he's better than Jalen Duren. Sorry. Thanks for getting me going, Caleb.
Yep. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. We will wrap up the show. Coming next, more of your thoughts to get to on the Titans front. Boxing fans, 1025 The Game and Team Boxing League have your chance to win tickets to see the Nashville Smash take on the Boston Butchers at Municipal Auditorium on Saturday, May the 23rd. 16 rounds, 16 fighters going at it. Text the keyword FIGHT to the game text line at 615-737-1025 to enter for your chance to win. This is Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. The 615 Open Golf Tournament might be sold out, but you can bid on all kinds of awesome experiences to directly support Folds of Honor at 615open.com/auction. Have an unforgettable time while supporting a great cause. 615open.com/auction. Final segment of the day here on Robby and Rexrode, taking your thoughts at 615-737-1025. One texter does say they'll give the Titans a primetime game next year to highlight the new stadium, regardless if they're good or not. Maybe. Ooh, new Nissan Stadium.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think they probably if they go 3-14 this year, and Cam Ward's not very good. I don't know that the new Nissan Stadium moves the needle that much. Hey, look at the aerial shot of this indoor stadium. Check it out, guys. And now
it's gonna be a good.
Here's the
stadium.
inside of the stadium. There's the field. I don't know. I don't know that really hits the TV audience.
Buffalo's opening their new stadium this year. The first home game that they have is a primetime game. It's on Thursday Night Football against the Lions.
Mighty Lions.
Now, Buffalo also has Josh Allen, who's a good football team. But
yeah, Buffalo could be playing in a poppy seed field, and they'd probably get some primetime games. So.
Yeah, okay. You think there's a small part of Josh Allen? It was like when they were building this new stadium in Buffalo, it was like, hey, guys, you ever thought about putting this inside? It gets real cold here. The wind's blowing around.
He would never say that, and he is, certainly he's the type of quarterback that probably is fine playing outside because he just likes to play fullback and run people over. But, God, right? When you're him and you're lucky to throw for 120 yards in the driving wind and sleet of a December game, imagining just having a nice – 72-degree, windless atmosphere.
I mean, it's a little bit more covered than the last one was, but it's still, it's an outdoor stadium, which I'm cool with, by the way. I appreciate.
Yeah.
Because outdoor stadiums are dying in the NFL. But I do think if you're Josh Allen, it's like, it's January. It's -14 with about 3 feet of snow out here. You think we might be able to get an indoor stadium at some point?
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
From a quarterback's perspective, I get it. But I appreciate the Packers, the Bears, the Browns, the Bengals, even the Jets, Giants, Patriots, as opposed to soft ass franchises like the Lions and Vikings who have to have indoor stadiums.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
One texter on the game to end the season for the Titans, which unless they go off and win the division, will be the final playoff game or final regular season game at Nissan Stadium here before they open the next the new stadium next year. Says the real problem with scheduling is closing out old Nissan against a team with a traveling fan base. Talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Probably will be a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans in the house. Although if you're a Titans fan, look, if you're a Titans fan that's been around, especially since the beginning, right? A lot of nostalgia. Maybe a lot of Titans fans that haven't been in the building in a while that try to get in there for that last one.
No, I have thought about that. It's really interesting with that game because, first of all, as anybody will tell you about that 97 year in Memphis, that was I believe, and I don't want to misspeak here, but I believe the dominant showing of Steelers fans in Memphis was part of why Bud Adams was like, we're not doing Memphis again. We'll just do Vanderbilt for a year. Yep. Right. I think that's what I have been told / have read. So but that's a moment. Anybody who covered the Titans back then talks about that moment. Teresa Walker, PK, Glennon, all of them. That day was ooh, God, they just took over the place. So in this situation, especially if the Titans are bad and the Steelers are good this year, it is a kind of a problematic way to close things out. Hopefully they're on somewhat similar footing, and it's going to be maybe a little bit more like a bowl game, like a really good bowl game. That's still a good atmosphere. You just don't want it to be a complete Steelers fan takeover to say goodbye to the stadium. Then how many Titans fans are going just because they have sentimental feelings for Nissan Stadium and want to be there for the last day?
I think there will be some.
Yeah,
I think there'll be some where that's the case.
I think if their football team is watchable this year, there'll be a lot more.
Yeah, I would agree. Look, I think I know plenty of people who used to be season ticket holders who are no longer season ticket holders, but for a variety of different reasons.
Yeah.
That have not been to games in a long time that I'm sure whether it's the last one against Pittsburgh or whether it's the second to last one against Indy, whatever it is, they're going to try to find their way in there at that point.
Yeah. No, it's going to be really interesting. Trevor says the Raiders finished their 2019 season 7-9. The following year when they opened their new stadium, they got 4 primetime games. Yeah. First of all, 7-9 is competitive. Second of all, to repeat about the Raiders, they have one of the largest fan bases in the league. So if the Raiders have a whiff of competitiveness, you should expect them to be in primetime a decent amount. I am surprised the Raiders got none this year.
I am too.
Because it's the Raiders. Again, they move wherever and their fans stick with them. I mean, I think when you travel around this country, you start with probably Cowboys fans, Steelers fans, but Raiders fans are like right there. They're always around, man. So that's the answer, Trevor. It's not because, hey, let's look at this huge, giant
Roomba.
So yeah, this massive Roomba. Roomba. Let's look at the pictures of that again. I mean, it's the Raiders move the needle. Typically.
I mean, the Jets don't have any primetime games this year, which even though they're as bad as they are, that still surprises me, given that they're a New York team.
Yeah. But I think some of it is like when these people are talking about these games and trying to pick game stuff, I mean, somebody in that room has to be like, the Jets are going like 2-15.
Guys, these guys suck.
Right?
Yeah.
They're so bad. Like we're signing up for a terrible game. If the other team is an attractive team that we want to watch, that means they're going to beat the Jets by 17, right?
The Titans and the Jets both have almost exclusively noon games. Jets also have 2 games that start at 3:05. They're both out west. There you go. I mean, at least the Titans one of them's 3:05 game, and it's in Jacksonville. That's not out west.
No.
They want to save that spicy rivalry for later in the later window. That's what I'm talking about.
And you know how much milkier the pool is at 3 as opposed
I agree.
to noon?
Get that thing cook a little bit down there.
Oh my gosh. It's like a milkshake.
Yeah, it's going to be something. Let's try to avoid that. Maybe, this year's the year that they develop a partition in the men's restroom there.
Let's hope so.
A little bit of a covering. That's going to do it for us today here on the program. Hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. We will be back on Monday morning to break it all down. Next Man Up with Jake Lyman is coming up next. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.